Hello and welcome to a video on how to propagate begonia. This is a wax begonia and this is my indoor plant which I had in the garden and I brought it back in. I do have some succulents there which are sort of growing some baby shoots here. Okay, but today's video will mainly be around begonias, how to propagate, root and pot on. So what you want to do is, when you look at a begonia, because what this will do is it will just go bushy and just keep going taller, and it will remove the light from the begonias on the bottom, and you need to trim it underneath a node. Show you what I mean. So that there, where the leaves are, that would be your node. And we're going to remove the leaves, and then you need to put it in a pot of soil where it's not too wet but the humidity is still very good, in order to allow the roots to develop. And you sort of do that and trim around the whole of the begonia, and you keep how many you do want to add to your collection, because obviously you're not going to make too many. I mean, you could, depending on how big. So what you want to do, once you have cut off your begonias from the main plants, which I showed earlier, it's very, I mean, it sounds a bit drastic, but it's very good if you remove all the flower heads, because you need the plant to put all its focus on producing roots, and you need to remove the bottom leaves, otherwise they will cause rotting, and just make that a clear cut on there. Make a hole into the soil and just push it in gently, and just cover it in lightly. You don't necessarily need to pat this in very hard or anything like that, and that will eventually grow roots, I'd say in about 2 weeks time, and you just continue with the rest. And I've got a pot here with some cuttings I have done previously, and I'm just gonna ease some out. I'd say these are about 2 weeks old, and this is a begonia there, and you can see that that has rooted. So what you will need to do is, once it creates roots like so, you just sort of take off any dead leaves or any dead flowers, and you get a pot of soil, and you simply make a hole in the soil and you push the roots in and you nurture. And these wax begonias are very easy to maintain indoors. You just need to make sure you don't waterlog them. You don't water them too much, because they could rot. But they would need to have some water content in them. So my main plant is on a terracotta pot here, and you can see when that dries out, you can really see from the outside that it's dry, and I top it up with water and it sits on the bottom, and as you can see, that's now gone, but the water is still within the soil's not dry. And this will eventually become its own begonia plant, which you can grow on, and at some point, depending on what time of year you're potting these on, you can take them back out in the garden if it's the right weather, and take it from there. Again, with the succulents that I have on this particular pot as well, you can follow the same thing. So I've just got some leaves in this pot that I've cut from the main plant, and I'll just show you them rooted very, very beautifully. And again, you just pop that on. There's some roots. And this one, so the succulents, what I do is I just leave them on the surface of the soil, so not too far into the soil, otherwise that will definitely rot. And then again, make a hole in the soil, plant it in, and that will grow and release baby succulents. And this plant in particular is very, very good for bees. It's one of the main sources in springtime. So it's always good propagating this one and expanding the collection in the garden. Enjoy!